Management Research. Hello and welcome to the Management Research podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Eugene. Hello and welcome to the next episode in my podcast in the mini-series dedicated to the strategic management. In our today's podcast, we continue elaborating on the topic of 5 forces proposed by Porter, and we continue working with the force called bargaining power of buyers. And I would like to remind you that the bargaining power of buyers undergoes the same logic that the bargaining power of suppliers. You will just be on the other side of this continuum. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the relation to buyer's product quality, because it has impact on how sensitive regarding the price the buyers are. Imagine that you are a computer producer and you produce laptops or desktop PCs, and you will be completely dependent on the producers of the CPUs. And mostly we have now 2 competing products, the processors, the CPUs from AMD and CPUs from Intel. You are in so much dependent on these firms that you will go for any price that they will offer you. Moreover, some of these CPUs, I mean the Intel, they are associated with a bit higher quality. And we usually say that AMD is 1 generation behind the Intel, which might not always be the case, and there are some suggestions that the new CPUs by AMD may be as fast as those by Intel, but it's the matter of debate. Anyway, if you want to associate your PC or your laptop with a higher quality, you will most likely be going for an Intel CPU, because it will be this small sticker Intel will indicate to your buyers that the quality might be higher. This all makes you less sensitive regarding the prices that the sellers will set. It means Intel can charge a bit more for the higher quality of their CPUs, or at least the image that they developed over time, that their CPUs are associated with a bit higher quality. Now you know that several things happened, and you know that there are different architectures of CPUs coming, the ARM architecture that is going to come, and we have the Apple computers that decided to go away from the Intel CPUs and try to develop their own M1, M2, M3 CPUs, and they might be even more powerful than those proposed by Intel. Anyway, as there are not so many producers, those who produce computers will be completely dependent on the CPUs that are proposed or offered on the market, and they will be less sensitive regarding the price if they would like to be associated with the higher quality. If you don't like PCs, you would like to talk about the smartphone CPUs, then you probably know that the Snapdragon CPUs by Qualcomm are associated with a higher quality than the MediaTek CPUs. And that is why if a producer of smartphone is going to introduce a flagship phone, most likely there will be a Qualcomm CPU Snapdragon 8 with the latest generation. As you can see, the sensitivity regarding something is dependent on the quality that you would like your product to be associated with, and the expectations for yourself, what kind of quality you would like to have. If you think about buying an academic cloak, and most likely when you will finish your studies, you don't have to, but most likely you will, or you would like to wear the academic cloak. And if you look at those cloaks that the students are wearing, they can be very simply put into 2 big groups. The one is the cheap cloaks that you can buy anywhere, and they are usually the quality is the lowest one, and students buy something like this to wear only one evening and then throw it away. And you usually see the professors' cloaks that are of a much higher quality, because the professors know they will wear them over several years. This immediately shows you in how much the necessity to use something like wearing the cloak has impact on the price sensitivity and willingness to pay for higher quality fabrics. Those students who finalize their study, who don't want to stay in academia, who will not wear this cloak, they will pay the minimum price, buy it somewhere, the cheap, probably Chinese wear, and just throw it away after finishing the final integration. And the professors and faculty members, they probably would buy something of a high quality that they will wear several times a year and maybe even at the different universities. Now we have one of the drivers that has impact on the bargaining power of buyers, namely on the price sensitivity, and this is the relation to the buyer's product quality. The higher the dependence on the quality of a buyer, the less price sensitive is the buyer. I hope it helps you, I hope it is interesting and useful, and I wish you all the best and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.